First, we'll be talking with a businessman, an entrepreneur. He's a professor in a great West Coast University graduate business school. His name is Mike Schuster. Welcome to Tomorrow, Mike.
Thank you very much. I enjoy being here.
Can you explain how money works in our economy?
In its very basic form is a medium of exchange. When we see at the pre-enterprise, or we see in the pre-market economy, back prior to that, we had to barter, what they call barter. We had goods out there, and the only way that we could exchange for those goods, if I was someone out there that had certain goods, I had to find somebody that if I wanted to sell those goods. So in the barter economy, everything became pretty cumbersome and complicated and trying to barter and exchange goods.
I had a dog, you had 2 dozen eggs, I was hungry, I might make a deal.
Right.
To get my dog.
So the medium of exchange, the dollar, it makes the transaction easier.
How is value actually established?
Goods are basically valued on supply and demand. You know, a certain amount of supply and a certain amount of demand. When you have an excess amount of demand up there, that will always create a condition where the price goes up. With regard to money, there is both the monetary amount and there's also the amount of goods out there that a consumer becomes perceived. So there is a perceived value out there. When goods are flowing through an economy, we oftentimes get into a perception that, say, a diamond has a lot of value to it.
Like a diamond really can't make you healthy.
Right.
A diamond doesn't do anything except in a psychological sense, maybe in a relationship, but it has no function. And yet diamonds are worth an awful lot more bucks than, let's say, potatoes, right?
Right.
But potatoes you really need to live, but diamonds you don't.
There's a great deal of psychological that goes on to free enterprise. You take, for example, food. I mean, there's a lot of market out there for certain kinds of foods that don't have any particular value that you intake. Like Coca-Cola, candy, that kind of thing.
Is it true then that there are as many psychological factors really in creating value, though there may be a high monetary value, doesn't mean that it really is good? Is that right?
That is right, Howard, yes.
I mean, there's no way out of dealing with money.
There has to be a medium of exchange. When we look at money, we're actually just looking at what you might call dirty paper. You know, money is the medium of exchange, but the key to any type of an economy is really the exchange of goods. It's the production, exchange, and sale of goods, and for us who are going to consume those goods. So what the key becomes is actually not the dollar bill itself, because if you look at a dollar bill, it's just a piece of paper out there. What really becomes key is that the faith that we have that sits what is behind that, how the economy, how it's structured, the strength. And the real bottom line when it comes to the medium of exchange, which we call money, is in an economy there has to be the confidence in the consumers and the government that there's enough assets out there. There is a lot of good quality assets that support the money supply. What you have in free enterprises is as businessmen are out there expanding, we're building the capacity. So the economy has more capacity as firms grow, as the manufacturing base begins to grow. And as we have more goods that are flowing into the economy, we can also then begin to increase the money supply. And as that both does increase, and the money becomes a store of that worth.
You said that really the power of money rests in people's faith in it.
Yes.
Is that essentially saying that there are, as it were, spiritual and psychological values associated with money, that money is, and how it's based on faith is also a spiritual matter? In other words, what people place their belief in?
Yes. If you picked up a dollar bill, you're going to see it's just paper. So what becomes key, and in fact I teach at Portland State University, if you had stated, and I teach in the MBA program there. And we have a very huge cross-cultural student base. And a lot of students come from China, in spite of the fact that China now has free enterprise and they're experiencing 9.5% GDP. What goes on there is that most of the economies in the world send their students to come over here to the United States, and PSU, Washington State University, the 2 universities that I have taught at, the MBAs, they actually bring them over here because of the quality of the type of business schools that we have here to educate businessmen that go out into the economy and know how to grow it.
So people actually have confidence in the American university graduate business programs because they're the most successful. They have more faith in you guys as professors than anyone else, or among the top people in the world, to teach people how to build systems essentially on faith.
Yes.
Belief in tomorrow, the belief that there's going to be an economy if you do the right things.
Yes.
Well, it's great. Mike, I'm going to have you back in just a few minutes after we talk to the next man who's going to be talking about what is the psychological, spiritual power over you that money actually has. You will see how money actually connects to happiness when we go back. But I want to refer you first to this booklet called Managing Your Finances. We're also going to show you an ad for the Good News magazine, which is the world's greatest magazine for spiritual understanding. It deals with issues like this in a very stimulating way. Ask for your free subscription by calling the 800 number that you'll see in the ad, or go to tomorrowonline.org, where you'll also be able to see this program and read some of the related articles about the power of money. We'll be right back.